Okay, so welcome back. I've done a little work since the last video. I put together more tabs. I inserted more tabs in there. And I also, on each of the tabs, I put a number of different pages. So you saw how we did that in the last video. If you happen to be watching this video as your first video, go back to the previous video and watch that, because it gets into how we set up these tabs and how we added then pages and put our items in there. Now in the last video I had shown you how you could actually take some of your section tabs here and actually put them into their own little group to kind of get them out of the way. And what I want to do in this situation is I want to take these three tabs here, these sections, and put them into another group, like a group of sections. And we like to do this especially if we have a situation where we just have a lot of tabs up there. Maybe it's overflowing and it's like, you know what, maybe we need to kind of break this down into like two different groups, and very easy to do this. So first thing you'll do though is you'll do a right click up here, and down towards the bottom you'll see new section group. So we click onto that and it gives us a section group there. Now I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. I'm going to call this one Greek to me. How about that, huh? All right, we'll enter that in, and there it is. And you can have as many groups as you want up there. I'm just going to do one here. And then what you can do is you can actually take each of these. You can kind of like drag this one right on top of there and let go, and it takes you over to that group as well. Now to get back, I just hit the little arrow that brings me back, and I'm going to go ahead and take the epsilon. Now epsilon I'll do it a little bit different. You can actually do a right click, move or copy, and then we can tell that we want to move it into Greek to me, right? And we just hit move, and off it goes. And again, it takes us back in there. Now I'll hit the back button, and I got one more of the beta. I'll do a right click on that, move or copy, click on the Greek to me, hit move, and off it goes. So those three are now in that section, and then we've got this group here for our primary section. So it's kind of an interesting way of doing things and keeping things organized. So think about maybe doing that with your own. I'm going to show you how to do a little formatting with your note areas here. Now I'm going to go ahead over to, let's see here, we'll go over to Gamma. And on page 4, we'll just go to page 4. Well, actually, let's see what we got here. We'll do this. We'll go to page 4 is good. Now, what I want to do is I want to add some bullets to this, okay, you know, at the end of it. And I've got this pretty tight in here, so what I can actually do is squeeze out and pry out some area here so I can put some, you know, more information into this particular placeholder, all right? So the way we would do this is we go over to insert, all right? And I want to kind of get all this here pushed down. Now, if you didn't know any better, you pretty much have to take each of these title bars here and drag it, get it out of the way. A lot of work, all right? A lot easier way would be to go here to insert, click on to insert space, just like that. Come down into here and go about this position about right here. Hold down my mouse, pull it down a little bit like that, let go, and now I've got plenty of room. And that moved everything in a synchronized fashion, all right? So now I'll go to the end of here, hit my enter key, all right, that gives me a new paragraph, and then I can go back to the home tab, and in here we've got our different bulleting. So we've got the character bullets, we got the numeric bullets, so we can go in there and I'll start out with maybe the character bullets. Now you can go with the default, or you can hit that little drop down arrow. Gives you plenty of characters to choose from. I'll start out maybe with this one right here. So I'll click it. That's it. There it is. And all I have to do is just type in my first item, just like that. You know how I have patience for typing, right? So hit the enter key again. Do that. Enter key again. Do that. Now in any of these, what you can also do is, let's say go maybe the end of the first one here, hit the enter key, that gives me a new bullet. But then if I hit the tab key, this one right there, there's the tab, it goes in and I can then type in like a sub of that first one. Hit the enter key again. It maintains that. And now I hit it one more time, all right? And then I'll go ahead and type that in. You're probably going to notice something too, where as that placeholder expands itself, it actually has a way of pushing down on everything else. So we could have, in the very beginning, just gone to the end of this one right here and started typing. And it would have pushed it down too, okay? So anyway, so you get to the end of that last one here, okay, and you hit the enter key, and now you say, okay, I want to go on another level. Well, again, you can hit the tab. You can start typing again just like that. Enter key just like that. Now, let's say you get to this point here, and now you want to come back a level, right? So in that case, what you do is you hold down your shift key and hit tab, and that'll take you back to there. Or you can do another shift tab, takes you back to the beginning, and then you can put something in there. All right. You can also, just so you know, let me go maybe to the second one here, or third one, hit the enter key, all right, and up at the top here in the basic text formatting area here, I can click onto this increase indent, and if I click onto that, it goes in, all right. If I want to go back, all I have to do is hit this one here, and that'll bring me back, all right, and I can type in whatever I need to type in. All right, so some other things you've got here, I'll go over on this side here. We have this little highlighter here, okay? And if you click onto it, all right, and go over here, it doesn't really do anything. So what you have to do to make this thing work properly is, and this is the highlighting that where you use the markers and you highlight and you've got different colors. We've got all these colors here, all right? So what you can do is you might highlight maybe this area right here for whatever reason, just like that. Go back up into here. If you want the yellow, you can just hit the face of the button. If you want a different color, all you do is just click it, and there we go. And that fixes that. Maybe take an area over here, maybe this whole spot like right there, you want to highlight that, and we can go with the traditional yellow on that. So it's just a way of kind of making things stand out for you. Just the way, same thought process when you were doing that physically in school books and so forth. Now, if you're going to be, let's say, sharing your notebook, or maybe somebody's sharing their notebook with you, and either way, we've got multiple people contributing to this area here, what's going to end up happening is people's initials are going to kind of pop up in the different areas where they've typed things in at. But think about this. You're looking over this one particular page, and you want to kind of put your 2 cents in here, and you'd like to suggest that this whole chunk of text right here, you think it should be excluded or kind of taken out. So the way that you kind of mark it is such so that when somebody comes back here and looks at it, they say, oh, okay. You can go back up here and click onto this little strike through button here, and that will put like lines through it. And that's technically what that's used for, is to show what you want to get rid of, right? Or suggesting at least. Of course, we've got the usual bold, italic, and underline. I mean, I can take, some text like this, select it, make it bold, make it italic, make it underlined. All right, you got them all in there. You can take some of them off if you want to, and do it like that. So that's a pretty easy thing. Now let's say that you just want to just delete something altogether. Let's say maybe from this point on, you want to delete all that. Instead of having to select it and then taking your hand off your mouse and maybe hitting the delete key, what you can do is get it selected, go into your home tab, and over here in the basic text section, you've got this little X here that you can click onto, and that will delete that item or that area that you've selected. So that works with anything. I mean, you have pictures or whatever in here, you can click onto it, hit the delete there, and it takes care of it. That's different, keep in mind, than cutting it. I mean, if you cut something, then it's ready to paste in, all right? You don't really care about cutting it to move it and paste it somewhere else. You just want to get rid of it. That's the way you would go there. You wouldn't want to do the cut. Even though the cut would work fine, this is the proper way here to do it. We also have an alignment tool. So let me just kind of go down here a little bit. And on the date that we've got up here, you know, the time and date stamp, we can actually go to that paragraph, click onto this little drop down arrow, hit center, and we can center it. All right, and that would be centered, or you can line it up on the right hand side. That looks kind of dumb, but maybe centering would look good. All right, if not, you can go back to the left. This here, the regular paragraph that we got down there, if I go there, I can make it centered for what it's worth, line it up on the right for what it's worth. They don't have the full justification there, where it would make it a block on the left and the right, so it'd be even like this on this side as well, right? So they don't have that, so it's all right. Not any big deal. Now another thing to kind of look at here is if I go, let's say here, I'll just click somewhere on this paragraph here, go back over in this area up here, and I can actually indent like that, see? And I can bring it back by hitting the other button. So if you want to have a little bit of like an indent or, you know, tabbed in, whatever, you've got that capability. Now let's say I go to the bottom of that, all right, hit the enter key, all right, and I'll go back up here and I'll go with the numeric bulleting instead. And I've got all these different things we've got here. We can customize our numbers. We can pick from anything here. I mean, it's just quite a bit of stuff to work with. So if this is too much for you, you can just go with the standard little drop down here and say, okay, fine, I think I want to go with my I don't know, my Arabic with the parenthesis. So I'll just click onto that. There's number 1, blah blah blah, enter key, number 2, and so forth. So pretty simple. Now let's say you took this this area here that we formatted in green here. Let's say you want to get rid of that. Okay, so what you can actually do is select that area that you formatted, right? And we got this little button up here. You can go ahead and click onto that, and it removes all the formatting that was put on it. So whatever you've done, if you want to wipe out the formatting, you can do that. If you do it in this situation, let's say we take this whole thing here, right? And I go ahead and hit this button here, it gives you that type of look. So it's still indented. I guess technically the indenting that caused this to happen is not technically a format. So you'd have to go back to here and you know, bring it back, click onto here, and either do it with this button here, or we can just do a shift tab, and that'll bring it back as well. So you got all the different ways of doing that. And last but not least in this group, we can actually kind of select an entire area like this if you wanted to. Go back up here and change the size to maybe something a little bit bigger. The placeholder box will expand for you, so you might find yourself saying, oh, maybe that might be better to have a little bit bigger like that. Now, if you're saying to yourself that, yeah, I thought this might be a little bit smaller than what I like it to be, does that mean I have to, you know, every time I go to do a new text box or, you know, placeholder of text, I need to go up here and change that? And the answer is no. What you can do is you can go and change the default. And the way you would do that is you click on the file, you go down here to options, all right? And in the general area here, we have the default font, and you can change it from Calibri to maybe Arial or whatever you want. You got the size and you got the font color. So I think that's a pretty good deal for that. I'm not going to change anything, but that's where you go to make those changes. Let's say you go in and you want to put another set of text in another note, like maybe in this area here. So we'll just go ahead and double click that. That gives us our own new placeholder. And we might type in something like the big idea, all right, something like that, and then hit the enter key and go ahead and type in, you know, whatever you need to type in, all right? So do something like that. Now, what you can do with this is we can actually select that text, all right, and go into this style area. I'm not really impressed with all these. I mean, it's nice, but what the style is basically a collection of a number of different formatting that's in one little click, basically. So if you wanted that title that we have down there to kind of look like what you see as heading 1, you can just kind of point to that, click it, and there it is, right? And maybe then you can go back into here and say, well, I'll triple click this area here. That'll select that whole paragraph, and I'll go ahead and I'll make it maybe just a little bit bigger. All right, so you can do something like that in case you didn't do that in the default. And there we go. Okay, now another thing I want to show you is how you go about creating a new page. Now, we've done this before. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. So, right now we're in the Gamma section. We have, and we're working on currently on page 4 here, but we've got, these other pages as well. What I want to do is I want to add a brand new page. All right. Now, what you learned in the last video is all we really have to do is say, okay, I can either click onto here and it puts it at the bottom, or I can kind of point off to the side here and click on any position here, and it kind of wedges it in between there, okay? And then maybe I'd go in there and I'd type in maybe meeting, and then it already has the date stamp up there, date and time, so I know when I'm doing it. And then I can go ahead and put my notes down there. Now that's one way, all right? But we also have a ton of different, what we would call page type templates, all right? And they're kind of structured where they do memos, they do, meeting notes, project, keeping track of your different tasks for your projects and stuff like that. So they're kind of already made up pages that you can then customize to be for what you need them to be for. All right, so to get to those, what you do is you go over here to the Insert tab, and we have something here called Page Templates. All right, and you click onto that, and it'll list out the ones that you've used previously, but just kind of ignore that. We're just going to go down here to where it says Page Templates. So you go to like Page Templates, and what happens then, this opens up here, this little panel, and it has in there academic page templates. We've got blank ones that are just different size paper. I'm going to close that up. Don't need that. We have the business ones here, which I think are pretty cool. Decorative, few in there, and quite a few. And we also have the planners, and if you click down there, you can see those as well. So we got quite a bit. One last thing I want to show you has something to do with what we call the Format Painter, all right? And this is a pretty common tool. We have it in all of our different Microsoft programs. I'm sure many of you that are watching these videos have used that from time to time, but just in case you're not that familiar with it, here's how it works. Let's say we've taken, let's say maybe this area right here, okay? And we've made this, let's say, bold. We've made it maybe a little bit bigger for some reason. We go here and we change the color, the text. Maybe even put maybe a background color to it as well, something like that. And, a few other things. But let's just say that we've got that, right? Now, it turns out that you want to do that same formatting on some other areas in your page here. So what you do is you click somewhere on the area that you formatted, that you like the formatting of. So we're clicking into here. We've got about 4 or 5 different formats on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to point to in the Home tab, point to the Format Painter, click onto that, all right? And then go over to another area that we would like to put that. Let's say we may want to change this area right here. So I'll just highlight that or select that, and there it goes on that one. Now, it cancels out. That's it. But if you go back, again, either one here, and instead of just doing one click, if you go up here and you do a double click, then it stays turned on, and you can do this, you can do this, and you can just keep on going throughout the whole thing until you find that you're done. And when you're done, you can just go ahead and hit the escape key, and that will turn it off. There you go. You can do that, or you can just hit the Format Painter again, and that will turn it off too. Okay, so I think we're good with that. So I'm going to leave it at that. We've got many more videos coming up to watch. I wanted to kind of just make this one focused on just formatting. Okay, so I appreciate you watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.